All right, might as well start. We will start on page Kuf Nun Hey, 3 lines from the bottom of the top section.
Thank you.
I think if we miss it one day, she's go in the kitchen and just make it from the kitchen.
Okay.
All right. 3 lines from the bottom of the top section. And we started speaking about the principle of Bitul. And again, the point that is being made is that even though there is a profound Bitul of the entire creation to Elokut, and yet it is not sensed in the creation. And the created beings could actually follow a line of existence that is opposite that of Elokut. Nevertheless, there is definitely an element of Bitul in the entire creation in relation to Elokut. Because Elokut is the only source of sustenance, provision for their being. And therefore, they have to receive it from the Elokut. In order to receive it from the Elokut, there has to be the element of Bitul. And this is where we're up to. 3 lines from the bottom, on the top section. Ukenoidea, as it's known, the hakeli, that the vessel, or the means, the receptacle, the kabal as achayas melokut, for receiving chayas from Elokut, the means with which that is possible to simply to accept the chayas Elokut is hu habitul dafke. It is exclusively the Bitul element. The Bitul is what enables the receiving of chayas Elokut. We shall discuss it a little bit in a while. But the point is, by being that receiving chayas from Elokut is a prerequisite that there should be Bitul. Therefore, it's inevitable that there is the element of Bitul in everything. Might as well make the point right now. The reason that in everything must be named from Bitul because there is no other means no other basis of any existence but from Elokus. And as we already pointed out, that receiving chayus, receiving sustenance from Elokus is in the form of chayus. And we discussed why it's called chayus. But now we will do that again and connect it to where we're up to. We already discussed this. Chayus means life or life force. To receive life from a source of life, there has to be a direct relationship, a direct connect to that source. Life is not a definable, definitive presence that you can take it away from its source and bring it over to where you are. Life is only possible to extend itself and to receive only as long as you're connected to the source of life. We already discussed a little bit the reason for that. Perhaps we will add a little bit now. The principle behind this, that life must be connected to the source, is that the phenomenon, the experience of life per se, I'll say the words and then we'll elaborate. The phenomenon of life is that you have the inspiration from the source itself. This is something which we can explain even in our own experience. If you go to a wedding and you are served a hefty meal, that hefty meal has no significance, no meaning whatsoever, unless the wedding itself, the chos and kala, are participants. Without that, this is like eating in a restaurant. It's not a simcha. It's not. There has no significance to it. The reason one goes to a chasana is in order to participate in the simcha of the chasana, not in order to benefit, partake of the food that the chasana serves. How does one participate in a simcha in contrast to one benefiting from the food that's being served? The food that's being served, each one partakes of it individually. He takes his own plate and he enjoys it. The simcha is not individualized to the participants. On the contrary, the simcha is possible only when there is a larger crowd. What is this? What is the significance of this? Why is it that a simcha cannot be, so to speak, compartmentalized, taken individualized? Everybody understands this, but I'll just try to put a finger on it. The simcha is an neshama experience rather than a body experience. Despite the fact that there's food served and so forth, but the element of simcha is a neshama. Both on the source and on the recipient. When a person is besimcha, that's the common expression. A person is besimcha. We don't say a person is in eating. His eating is an act of eating, or in talking. Simcha is not identified as a particular activity on the part of the person. Simcha is referred to as he is besimcha. The reason for that is that simcha is something which is possible only if the entire person, the entire neshama, is participating in it. When it comes to a simcha, and we dance and we sing and we clap our hands, that is only symbolic of the simcha. The experience of the simcha is internal to the human being himself. The entire person has to participate. You can't participate in the simcha by clapping your hands, or by singing, or by dancing, as a matter of fact. All of these are only manifestations of the simcha. The simcha is something which embraces the entire person. Simcha is a neshama, a true, complete and true neshama experience. Perhaps sometimes we'll discuss even deeper on that, but this is something which is quite evident. Everybody can readily attest to it.
Are we here illustrating the idea of Chayus?
Excuse me?
Are we illustrating here with this mashal the idea of
Yes,
Chayus?
yes.
Okay.
Simcha is the result of the living, of the life element in the person. And when he, with his life, is participating in a joyous occasion, then it translates in simcha. The point that we are trying to bring out is that this is not a participation utilizing a certain quality, a certain ability, a certain koyach It's a participation of the total person himself with his own neshama. This is how you participate in the simcha. The same is true chayus. So the chayus mulakus. Chayus is not something that is transmitted in a measured manner. Chayus is not transmitted. Chayus is present only in contact with something that's alive, with the source of chayus. There's no way to bestow chayus upon something and associate it to the source. Since we got into this far, let me just bring it to a kind of obvious conclusion. At the lowest level of chayus, of living, we have the plant, the vegetation, the trees, the grass, the fruit trees. And they live the higher that they live because they produce on a constant basis fruit and grass and leaves and so forth. There's constant growth and constant increase. This growth is due to the life element that is in them. Now, no matter how fully developed a tree is, if you cut it off from the earth, it will cease to produce these evidence of life. Because this evidence of life is an expression of its connection to the source of life. Because it's rooted into the ground. The ground and the source is a source of life of the tree. As long as it's connected to the ground, it'll produce and grow. It's an amazing thing. This tree is fully grown. You cut it off from the earth and it stops producing. What is this source of chayus that this is dependent on? How do you define the source of chayus? To focus in on that, we will use the following analogy. The goof lives also. The neshama lives and the goof lives. What's the difference between the life of the neshama and the life of the goof? The goof, the life in the goof is not an element that belongs to itself. It's not its own reality. because there's a neshama in it, this is why it's living. The guf is not life per se. It's alive because there's life in it. The neshama is life itself. If we should go a little bit further, deeper into this, just for one moment. Let's see what the time is. As we said before, life cannot be doled out, cannot be given out in dissociation from the source of life. Despite the fact that a human being is alive, very alive, if Chas v'Sholom it gets disconnected from the neshama, his life ceases. We don't have to go to a human being and take a tree, like we said before. It's alive and well, and it's big and usually developed. If you cut it off from the ground, it ceases to produce, it ceases to manifest its life element. What is so demanding of life that it has to be maintained constantly from its source? The unique thing about life, in contrast to everything else that we experience in our world, is that life is what's called an etzem. Life is not a living thing. Life is the essence of life. The guf is also alive, but that's not life. The neshama is life itself. This is why we all understand, we all say, the guf has a neshama life and it's living. But that life can be terminated. The life of the neshama itself cannot be separated from the neshama. The neshama lives forever. Which means also that in order to receive life, you have to be connected to the essence of life, because that's what life is. Essence of life is in the neshama itself. This is, I'm afraid that we are, what's going with the time over here?
7:10, for another 10 minutes.
What?
Another 10 minutes.
10 minutes. So life is only a mashal to the union with receiving chayes from Alkus. Just as in order for the guf to be alive, it has to be connected to the neshama. And if it's disconnected to the neshama, then it ceases to live. And the primary illustration for us is the tree standing on the ground. On the bigger picture, the highest life element in general exists only as source in Elokos. Therefore, in order for anything to receive life from Elokos, it has to be connected to Elokos. In order to be connected to Elokos, the only way to be connected to Elokos is by the element that's called Bitul. Why is Bitul a necessity in order to receive chayes from Elokos? Reflecting of the motion of the chayes in the group, the reason Bitul is a necessity. Step back for a second. The reason Bitul is a necessity is because this chayus cannot be doled out. It's not a separate quality that can be disseminated. The chayus exists only in the source of chayus, in the living entity. Since it exists only in the source of chayus, therefore, in order to get it, you have to receive it from the source. To receive it from the source, the requirement from Bitul. What is the Bitul element in this phenomenon? That which you can disseminate and give out, you can give out to anyone who is connected or disconnected. But the essence itself cannot be disseminated. Since the essence cannot be disseminated, therefore, in order to receive chayes from the essence, you have to be connected to the essence. The essence does not have a quality by which you connect to it. The connection to the essence is by being in proximity to it, by sensing its presence. This is how you connect to this essence. Sensing its presence is possible only through the quality of Bitul, where you become one thing with the essence that you sense, and this is how you receive the chayes. This is why Bitul is a prerequisite to receiving chayes from Elokos. Because chayes from Elokos is not chayes that is being disseminated. Chayes from Elokos is Elokos per se. Just one quick demonstration of this principle. As much as we speak of just a quick demonstration. In order to receive chayes from Elokos, one has to be recognizing what are the qualities that Elokos can relate to. Because that's the only way that you can be proximity to Elokos. In order to relate to Elokos per se, not the quality of Elokos, but the actual reality of Elokos, this is what's called Bitul. Because there you're relating to the essence itself, not to its effect, not to its what disseminates from it. in order to get chayas, you have to relate to the source of chayas, not to that which disseminates from it. Just to give, so to speak, a coarse illustration of this, you can bestow kindness. One person can bestow kindness unto another person. Unlimited, which is called chesed and tzedakah and so forth. Of all kinds. You can bestow love and affection, all that. But you cannot bestow life. No matter how closely related you become to one another, you cannot bestow life. Because life exists only in connection in the source itself. And this is why we say, in order to achieve chayes from Alakus, you have to connect to the source of chayes, to Alakus itself. You cannot receive it with any other means. And this is why it has to be bitul. Bitul means that you connect directly to Alakus. Not to the qualities and the goodness and so forth, but to Alakus itself. This is why bitul is the prerequisite for receiving chayes from Alakus. And this is what the Rebbe says, and I have another minute. This is what the Rebbe says here, very bekitzer, that even klippos must have a bitul, since they also are sustained by Alakus. It has to be a new from bitul, despite the fact that they don't acknowledge it, they don't feel it. There has to be a new from bitul, otherwise they would cease to exist.
And by klippos, it's like the fact that they're doing Hashem's job, because the klippos are always to destroy.
No, that's why that's the klippah. They can. This is that the Rebbe should give them. They can receive chayes from Alakus even though they go the opposite. The real to receive chayes from Alakus and appreciate it, it has to be Yiras Hashem. But even in klippah, there has to be an element of bitul. That in order to receive chayes. What is this element of bitul? This is something which needs to be discussed. What is this element of bitul in the klippah? If it goes out in its own way and it's interested in completing something opposite of kedusha, how does it receive chayes from kedusha? Where is the bitul? Where is the bitul?
Good question.
In brief, the bitul is the acknowledgement of klippah that in fact, even though it claims whatever it is, it develops its own tziyus, but it knows that it is not really self-made.
It knows that even when it states the opposite.
And that's right, that's not self-made. That's right. No matter what you say, that is only on the practical level. But in essence, he knows that he is not really a self-made entity.
He knows he's faking it.
He knows he's faking it.
He's not what?
He's faking it.
He's faking.
Is it like we learned before that there's the idea but not the argusha?
Was?
Is it like we learned before that there's the idea, but there's not mirgash? The klippah is not mirgash. We learned that this just.
Yeah, that's what we say. Yes, he knows it, but this bitul is inherent, must be. Otherwise, it would cease to exist. But he fails to admit it because he is interested in his own mitzvahs.
time.
It's like somebody receiving a gift. He didn't earn it. He walks out with this gift and he says, look, I earned $100. What did you do? Nothing. He got $100 because of the kindness of the giver, not because of his own. He didn't earn it, but he claims that he earned it. This is how Klippa is. They receive the chayas because the Rebbe gives them chayas, but they claim that this is theirs.
And underneath their claim, they know they're faking.
They know it's not true. I'm afraid this is it for today. We will pursue it in Mitzvah Shem